Okay, we're tackling this greatest accomplishment prompt, and we're trying not to sound like a jerk or too pompous. So we need to figure out a strategy to do this. So I'll give you a couple. So I'm going to talk about my accomplishment of coaching soccer now for, I guess it's about 25 years. I've coached boys, I've coached girls, I coached overseas in Syria, I coach my own children now, I've coached them through their entire life, blah, blah, blah. It's totally boring. It's a resume. No one wants to hear my resume. And let's imagine that I can't think of an entertaining, compelling 8-step story like my golf story. I could. I have lots of interesting coaching stories from over the years. Back when I coached at East Brunswick, I can remember being on a bus with a bunch of 8th grade boys, one of whom was shrieking really loudly in my ear because his voice hadn't changed yet. And I told him that he couldn't talk anymore until he hit puberty and his voice changed, which was pretty mean, but it was really loud and it was a long, long day. And we were on the way back from somewhere far away, from South River or something. And then I looked over and he was crying, which happens to 8th grade boys because now, I've been through that with my own children and there's a lot of hormones. And then I had to console him and tell him that, everybody's voice eventually changes. And, yeah, so I paid a heavy price for that comment. Then I had the kid in class years later and, apologized again. His voice had changed and he was 6 feet tall. Or when I was coaching in Syria, one of the better players on our team there, his family was really high up in the Alawi government, which is sort of, Assad's government. And so he was really connected, almost like mafia style, connected to that government. And he was using his wasta, his influence to make Mr. Takwa, the guy who had the school concession, give all his friends ice cream. So he was kind of bullying him with his family connections into making Mr. Takwa give his friends ice cream. So I took this kid outside of class and I laid into, I'm like, I don't care where you're from, who your family is. This is American soil. This is American ground. We don't treat people like that. America's egalitarian. There's no class system. Just reamed him out. And he stopped making Mr. Taco give his friends free ice cream. But then I was worried that I might get disappeared. That was a totally oppressive dictatorship, which he was connected to. And I was wondering if I would, get dragged away by the secret police in my sleep. But if I didn't have a story and I just wanted another way to get across an accomplishment, you don't want to do a resume, you don't want to do a list, you could do something symbolic that really shows how you are passionate about and love this particular thing or excel at it or whatever. So I am going to tell just a little tiny story. It's not epic like those other ones. It doesn't have a lot of, emotion in it, but it is the story of this string bag. And I think you guys know what a string bag is. It's one of these mesh bags. This one has pennies in it, actually. But the one I'm talking about held soccer balls, and it has a string that goes through this very skinny, almost sweatpant band type thing. And we were on a bus. We were on a bus back from Spotswood, and it had been, again, a long afternoon. We had driven out there, played the game, and on the way there, the string bag, the string had come out of the little thing, and the balls were coming out of the bag and rolling all over the bus, and it was driving me crazy. And the kids were kicking them, and they were just somebody was going to trip on it. We were going to lose a soccer ball. So on the way back, I knew I had a good 35 minutes down Route 18 from Spotswood all the way back to Highland Park. And I started threading the string through the little thing, and I just kept pushing and pushing, and the bus was hitting bumps and the kids were loud. And I just spent the entire bus ride pushing that string through the little tiny seam. And I mean, we were pulling into the parking lot at Highland Park when I got it all the way around, pulled it through, and was able to tighten the bag and tie it. I was yes, I had done it. And so I could use that as a symbol for coaching of you're just faced with all these different little problems. You have to deal with them in real time. There's no second chance, really. It's the same as a game. you have this thing, you have to do it, you have to adapt, you have to figure it out. And, sometimes you feel that thrill of victory when you just accomplish some task or any task in sports. And that makes me really emotional. And I was really excited about completing the thread through that string bag. And I felt like I had done something good for the team, and it would be totally unnoticed and no one would ever know about it. But I had done it, in the allotted time, which is the kind of thing you have to do in sports. You got to get it done before the final buzzer. Yeah, so I could use that as a symbol, and it would get across. I wouldn't have to tell them all the different times and places and things I coach, but I think get across like my passion and be kind of funny and witty. And Yeah, so that's another way to do it. Take something symbolic, describe it in detail, and that might get across your accomplishment without sounding really pompous and just listing a bunch of successes.